Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Relationship Theory. All right, here we take difficult emotions and talk them out like they are a regular conversation. Star Trail. Okay, this is going to be a really fun topic because it is going to piggyback off of dimensions. I spoke about this in the last video. I just wanted to give a heads up before I dive into some really deep stuff. Deep stuff being that I have a project named Codename Magenta, and it's supposed to be a project that facilitates and governs basically all of the information in the world, makes all sorts of information available to the world, but also social media, commerce, and the markets, both financial and sexual, are governed by this information. So we have an information-based or data-based infrastructure, a more sound data-based infrastructure available to the people, constructed for the people, and designed to last in very, dare I say it, revolutionary ways. Of course, that comes with some very, very heavy topics that we need to discuss in order to get this ball rolling as far as what do we need to know. So the conversation about dimensions was supposed to cover the surface level area that discusses depth of information, like how far someone is willing to go with what they know. This automatically classifies you. It automatically puts you at a certain standard of living because of what you allow yourself access to and what you deny access to. Like obviously this has, very pertinent demands on your psychology, but it's not one that is done without a team. You're going to have someone by your side. This is the guarantee of my new world, okay? And this project called Codename Magenta. So the focus of this vlog on Star Trail is going to eliminate one's need for questions out in the open. You know how maybe you're talking to someone, as I'm about to do right now, and you come up with a question that you have to ask? Well, what a Star Trail essentially is an assortment of nodes that are constructed to help you know when you're experiencing an answer. And what that will do is help you know when you're finished receiving an answer. Let me show you an example. So I asked myself a question recently. And this is what I have. Right? You can see that there are 7 points. Right? I drew it without thinking about the direction that it's facing. And I'm a little scared talking about this because this is a new concept. Also, I'm in the middle of answering this question that I have. The question itself is asking, what are the things that being musically inclined brings me? Okay, rather than answering the question, I have 7 nodes. And the way you design a star trail after a question that you mean to ask is twofold. The first way to design a star trail is to have a question that gives you an emotional reaction. It invokes an emotional response out of you. Basically, a question you really want to ask and have answered. The second is to use that imprint that that question offers you and to draw after the sensation, the first image it gives you. Every star trail will be designed after this. All you really need are, when I say nodes, you just need points, right? And then you just need to connect the points. So as you can see, I have 7 nodes and they were all connected. Let me show you one more time. Right? From here, I think from right to left, you can see 2 of them are circled. I started from the first point that is on the end, the leftmost end. And yes, it looks like a constellation. That's why I called it a star trail. It's meant to look like that. Okay, this is how we're answering questions in 2025 going forward. We're no longer just asking questions and then getting answers in the same text. What we're trying to do is take the energy from an elevated source point and to bring it into your experience in a much more integrated and involved way. We live life way too distant and separate from our experiences. We feel like robots, and the reason why we feel like robots is because we act like robots. Star Trail will keep you from doing that because you will lean on the emotions that you feel to invoke certain emotional responses to get you to answer your own question. A lot of us ask questions because we don't really want to go out there and find out anything. A lot of us ask questions because we think someone's going to give us an answer. We ask questions, we ask ourselves questions in very unfair ways, stealing all of the joy out of ourselves and getting absolutely no form of satisfaction from our curiosity. This is what Star Trail does. So let me show you something else that's also really important. Because when I'm discussing nodes, what I'm trying to do is set from a distance something that is, if you look into it deeper, much more intricate in design, a whole lot more mysterious, right? It's sort of like when you don't know someone, a stranger, and then they become someone that you know. But let me show you. So, does anybody know what a toroidal field is? Okay, you can see that right there. I sort of did a poor field, but you can kind of see that what I'm going for here. And then you can see that there are a bunch of whirlpool thingies here, right? The reason why I did this, the reason why I did this like this is because what I wanted to do was establish the fact that a toroidal field is connected to other toroidal fields. I don't think people have ever discussed this. We mention toroidal fields the most when we're talking about the 4th dimension, time and space. Okay, so I hope when I mentioned that you now understand why Star Trail is important and why I'm even bringing up toroidal fields right now, because the nodes are actually toroidal fields. Those sort of self-involved loops that you get of information that make it sort of talks about, describes recursiveness and cycles and stuff like that. That's what a toroidal field is. And if you want, I could, you could search up toroidal field. That is TORIODIAL field. So you can research that. But more importantly, remember, nodes, just points in your mind that your mind can recognize and feel like it has access to an answer, right? And so generally the point in a star trail is to get you thinking that as many nodes as there are as many experiences or value points that will fully answer your question. Okay? Again, we're trying to have is a deeper dive into our experience in this life, and we're finding integrated, involved, developed ways, yes, complex, yet simple and unassuming, to experience this life. Anyway, that is this episode of The Relationship Theory. Enjoy your morning.